Hey, beautiful family. It's a new dawn and a new chapter here. Well, squaddies, you have known me for years, bringing you the best and latest royal updates. Now, squaddies, I'm welcoming you to yet another bombshell channel known as Celeb Plug 101, where royalty meets reality and fame sits under a spotlight. From palace whispers to red carpet revelations, I will be crowning the most iconic, the most talked about and the most unforgettable stars in the spotlight. Be kind and consider subscribing to this channel for fast daily updates. So, with this said and done, take your seat because you're watching the channel where legends rule and every headline reigns supreme. Chandauka's annual accounts were overdue, due September 30th, but were only released last Friday. The delay sets the tone for a report that reveals a charity in turmoil. Reserves have collapsed, polo matches have been scrapped, and founders Prince Harry and Princess Sophie stepped back in solidarity with trustees who could no longer tolerate Sophie Chandauka's leadership. Instead of taking responsibility, Chandauka has framed Harry's $1 million donation and polo fundraising as liabilities, while presenting herself as the architect of a bold transformation. When Harry and Sophie launched Chandauka in 2006, they built it on personal credibility and a promise to help vulnerable children in Lesotho and Botswana. In 2021, Harry pledged $1.5 million from his forthcoming memoir, Spare, to the charity. When the book was published globally in January 2023, the funds began flowing, spread over 3 years to sustain programs and fill funding gaps. Polo fundraising was a crucial lifeline. The Centerball ISPS Handa Polo Cup pulled in major sponsors and wealthy donors, with Harry on the field helping to raise nearly a fifth of the charity's income by 2023. Alongside that, his £1.2 million donation from Spare kept programmes alive when the pandemic had battered fundraising across the sector. Yet Sophie tried to spin these lifelines as liabilities, claiming they hid weaknesses while ignoring the universal COVID impact on charities. What she leaves unsaid is that it was her leadership that alienated sponsors and burned money on costly consultants. By late 2024, trustees warned that Chandauka's financial model was unsustainable. The London office cost more than £650,000 annually. Corporate donors had disappeared, and events carried growing risks. Sophie refused to reform or step down. In March 2025, several trustees resigned in protest, and Harry and Sophie stepped back in solidarity. Their exit was a stand for integrity. Sophie responded by rushing to the media, accusing the board of bullying and using polo as a distraction. She claimed matches masked structural weakness and that Harry's Spare donation hid fault lines in the finances. The Charity Commission later finished its compliance review. It faulted all sides for letting disputes spill into the press, but did not uphold Sophie's sweeping claims of bullying, racism or misogyny. The regulator pointed instead to governance gaps left unresolved under her leadership. Chandauka's accounts reveal a pretty bleak picture. Reserves fell from just over £2 million to only £567,000 in just 16 months, which is, well, quite a drop. Free reserves collapsed to £232,000, really leaving little buffer for the charity. Polo events, which were once a proven revenue stream, were scrapped altogether. Now, Sophie framed all this as progress. In the annual report, she wrote that Chandauka was stronger than ever and claimed she had built a culture of psychological safety. She thanked family and allies for helping her through difficult days, but, she ignored the trustees who left over her refusal to resign. Meanwhile, fundraising costs climbed, program funding shifted, and one failed financing deal left a $750,000 hole. The row inside Chandauka has been fought not only in boardrooms, but also across the media, where headlines often echo Sophie Chandauka's framing. Outlets like GB News and The Telegraph reported that polo fundraising was dropped as a way to distance the charity from Prince Harry, despite the events generating nearly a fifth of revenue in the previous year. Both repeated Sophie's claim that polo masked structural weaknesses, positioning Harry's efforts as a liability rather than a lifeline. The Daily Mail went even further. Its coverage amplified Sophie's narrative, describing her leadership as a grueling but humbling transformation, while presenting Harry as the source of instability. It claimed his spare donation masked financial cracks, and highlighted her assertion that those who resigned in March launched an adverse media campaign against her. The Mail gave little weight to the fact that the Charity Commission did not uphold her bullying or racism allegations, instead spreading blame evenly between Harry, CISO and Sophie. This selective framing contrasts sharply with the financial reality. The Commission acknowledged mismanagement but found no evidence of systemic bullying or misogyny. Trustees and donors loyal to Harry left because Sophie refused to step aside, not because of polo matches or one-off gifts. Yet large sections of the press have propped her up as a reformer, reframing Harry's generosity and visibility as a weakness rather than the reason Chandauka survived for as long as it did. Prince Harry called himself utterly devastated when he resigned as patron of the charity he and CISO built. Their exit was not about polo or a single donation. It was about standing with trustees against leadership that dismissed warnings and twisted lifelines into liabilities. As Chandauka marks its 20th year, Chandauka continues to talk of bold transformation. The accounts instead show a weakened charity that has lost its founders, its donors, and much of its credibility. If Harry and CISO launch a new African organisation, they may again carry forward their mother's legacy, leaving Chandauka as a cautionary tale of how poor leadership can fracture even the most promising mission. So there you have it, and it's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay awesome.